Chapter 1 of Little Blue Book 646, The Spirit of Brazilian Literature. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Little Blue Book 646, The Spirit of Brazilian Literature by Isaac Goldberg. 1. Preliminary Considerations. Analogies are dangerous things. They emphasize similarities at the expense of essential differences. Yet it will be highly useful in presenting a survey of Brazilian letters to employ the figure of mother country and daughter nation. However great the changes that adulthood brings, there is always the resemblance, inner or outer, to one's parents. Brazil is one of the children of imperial Portugal, the Portugal into whose greatness her most glorious poet, Camões, was born, and with whose decline he died. In time when separation of distance grew naturally into separation of spirit, the child reached maturity. It sought independence. So doing, at first it revolted against its parents. It even reviled them. That is a phase of development as natural to children as it is to colonies. There is national as there is individual ambivalence. Today the ancient hatreds that were bred by the struggle for national autonomy have died. The daughter, indeed, as daughters will, has outgrown the mother. The features, none the less, are essentially the same, and the filial love has returned. It is a love which is not a surrender, but rather a realistic acknowledgment. The language of Brazil is, with those modifications that time and place inevitably work, essentially Portuguese. Brazil is not like Canada, daughter in her mother's house, yet mistress in her own. The division has been clean, complete, and salutary. The history of her separation from Portugal, the history of her internecine strife, have both been agreeably free of those chronic bloodlettings that bespatter the pages of the nations. Blood has been spilled, to be sure, but not rivers of it. Today Brazil is one of the important nations of the continents. Her importance is likely to grow with the years. A poet has written that the Amazon is the center of the world. Should it so turn out, it will not be the first time that an impractical versifier has guessed at a truth a century before his more literal-minded fellows have blundered into it. In its simplest outlines, the history of Brazil falls into three obvious divisions: 1. The colony, 2. Independence, and 3. The republic. Discovered in the opening year of the 16th century, Brazil remained a colonial dependency until 1822. Her career as a monarchy lasted until 1889, when she became a republic. Behind these dates lies a slow but often interesting evolution from merely physical attachment to spiritual kinship with the land. Something in the Brazilian atmosphere, in its very scenery, captivated the discoverers from the start. That it should at first have been named the Land of the True or Holy Cross is in harmony with the religious spirit of the times. The celestial connotation has remained, however, to this very day. When Graças Aranha writes his much-read and widely discussed novelistic hymn to his country, he names it Canaan, the Promised Land. He is thus but the latest in a line that dates back to the earliest days of the discovery. It was Vespucci, after whom the American continents were named, who called Brazil an earthly paradise. Father Anchieta, in 1585, repeated Vespucci's heavenly compliment. Gabriel Soares and the chronicler Cardim took up the strain until, by the time it had reached Rocha Pita, it swelled into a chorus of exaggerations. Verissimo has told us that Gongorism is among the Portuguese a national vice. That holds true outside the field of poetry. Milieu and racial mixture have made of the Brazilians a creature of the imagination. Physical separation is the first step toward autonomy. In the wild outbursts of admiration which were hymned by these early spirits, we find already what Brazilian critics have termed nativism, as distinct from nationalism. Passionate fondness for the land itself is present at the very start. Let that land be coveted by foreigners, let those foreigners attack the settlers, as Holland, France, and England did, let the settlers thus be forced into a unit of defense against a common possession, and already the seeds of national feeling have been implanted. Let the hazards of European fortune send the Portuguese monarch in flight from his throne to Brazil, thus converting the country by his mere presence into the virtual monarchy itself, and a deeper feeling has been implanted in the Brazilian heart.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?